Fresno, California.
I love it. So, I've been to Fresno a many times.
I love it. I love it. So by all means, pick a mic. It's all yours.
Oh,
we're totally recorded right now.
Oh,
We're
awesome.
going to be played later today. So all the hits, Q97. We're live at WWE Axxess, New Jersey, baby. We traveled 2,400 miles, and I traveled 2,400 miles so I could look face to face with one of the legends in the business, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. How you doing, sir?
You know what? I feel great today.
Man.
You know, every day I get up and look in the mirror and go, man, did I really get paid for doing this all these many years? It's been phenomenal.
Man, you and me both. And I just got to say, this is a surprise. When they announced this whole media tour, they announced a couple superstars, a couple dudes that might be part of this. And when I woke up this morning, early this morning, by the way, and I heard that the name Jimmy Hart was going to be somewhere in the building, man, my heart dropped. Growing up, I just got to say on a personal note, not even on a professional level, you were one of the dudes I looked up to.
Well, you know what? I love you for saying that, but you know, we've had such a good run, you know, with the Honky Tonk Man and the Hart Foundation and the Nasty Boys and so many of the stars, and of course had a little stint managing the Money Incorporated, of course, and then doing the music for some of the wrestlers. It's been a great run.
Man, that's phenomenal. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, Mr. Hart. One of the main reasons, if not the biggest reason, why someone like you was someone I looked up to, being a dude in radio. I never had the physique. Obviously, I loved WWE all my life, but I knew I was never going to be a wrestler. But you, man, you had the gift to gab. People listen to what you had to say on or off that megaphone. So that's another reason I looked up to you.
Well, you know, it's sometimes it's about the talk, but it's about being visual and having showmanship too. That's what I always looked for when I was looking for talent. You know, when we had Neidhart, you know, Neidhart was kind of off the wall.
Yeah.
And of course the Honky Tonk Man. Yeah, really. And of course the Honky Tonk Man. You know, he had all the Elvis outfit, and me coming from Memphis originally, you know, that was kind of a strong point for us. But we did the music. We had so much fun, and most of my guys were very colorful.
That's cool. Of all the people that you did manage, how many do you still kind of regularly keep in touch with?
Well, most of them, I'll tell you. You know, I'm down in Tampa, of course. And, you know, Hogan's got a brand new beach bar down there called Hogan's Beach, so I base out of there really and kind of pick and choose what I want to do on the road. Of course, every year we go do Wrestlemania, but Neidhart comes in to see us. Greg Valentine lives in town, so I see him often, one of the Nasty Boys. Well, both of them really, but I always see Knobs a little bit. And of course, Honky lives in Phoenix, and we talked often. And I saw DiBiase about 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I stay in touch with just about everybody.
That's cool. I'm glad you brought up Greg the Hammer Valentine, man. Rhythm and Blues. Can't write off that tag team right there. Rhythm and Blues, man.
And it was so hard to get him to dye his hair. Right? Oh my gosh! I mean, we had to hold him down and everything. I said, Greg, we had been threatening Greg. You're not going to have a job if you don't do it.
He pulled it off though, man. He could pull off brunette.
Well,
so he pulled it off.
He said, "I'll do anything as long as I don't have to do it red." He didn't want to be a redhead. I said, "That'll be next year when we change it again."
I think they already had Red Rooster at that time.
I think you're right. I think you're right on that.
That's dynamite. So, a bona fide certified Hall of Famer, and obviously you said you still keep in touch with Honky Tonk Man. I just heard some big news about Honky Tonk Man. What's up with that? WWE's Honky Tonk Man.
Well, you know, Honky Tonk Man did a couple of weeks ago. He was on the TV a couple of weeks ago, and he just signed one of those Legend Contracts deals. So he signed that, and so that's good for him. I'm happy for him because all of us have that.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he's been holding off. And I said, Honky, what are you doing? I said, this is not Colonel Parker for Elvis. This is Colonel Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart. You need to get on board, man. The Soul Train is leaving without you.
Right.
But you know, it's so funny. People always ask me my predictions. They go, you know, Jimmy Hart, The Rock. Who is it going to be? The Rock, John Cena. And I said, well, you know what? I can smell what The Rock is cooking. But I still eat my Fruity Pebbles for breakfast in the morning. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to sit at ringside, get me a ticket, and then whoever wins, I'm going to say, well, that's who I want to go in the first place. Ride that fence, baby. Ride that fence.
That is a very diplomatic, politically correct answer, right?
Only way. Only way.
Right. That way you keep everybody happy.
You better believe it.
Nice. So I got Jimmy Hart right in front of me right now. Obviously, you're iconic for your megaphone.
Love you.
And your megaphone. How many of those megaphones do you actually own?
Well, in my storage, this one I brought out the red one with the Mouth of the South on it, with the little pink hearts, of course.
Awesome.
But You know, I probably have got about 15 left through the years. You know, back in the day, we used to have a big giant box we carried on the road. We had 5 or 6 megaphones, 5 or 6 guitars, and 5 or 6 of Fuji's canes at the time. So that way, if we broke any of them, we went and pulled them out of the box and we started rocking and rolling one more time. But I've kept a lot of my jackets and stuff through the years. We've given a lot to charity, a lot to Make-A-Wish, you know, for WWE and everything. And some of them are in the Hall of Fame too that we have. So that travels on the road everywhere.
Cool. Man, and I'm sure you, having the jackets, having the megaphones, I'm sure you can't wait for that day, which I'm sure is coming, where there'll be an actual physical Hall of Fame building, right? Where you can kind of display.
You know, I keep rooting for Orlando, Florida, and I'll tell you why, because there's so many tourists that go in and out of Orlando year-round. But I think that's probably where it should be, and give the fans a chance, because whether you live in New York or whether you live in San Francisco or Fresno or wherever, once in a while you take that old trip to Florida. You got the fun and the sun, and so once you get there, then you're going to turn around and probably go to either Disney World or Universal Studios, so that way you can see it all there.
Right? I think that's dynamite. I can't wait for that day. And I will say, aside from the jacket, aside from the megaphone, Jimmy Hart himself belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I got to tell you, though, I was put in 2005. In 2005, we went to the Hall of Fame with the Hulkster and Piper. And,
that was a great year. That was a great year.
It really was a good year for us. You know, somebody looked the other day and they said, "That's the best year so far." And I said, "Well, it's a good year because I got to go in it." Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Speech was unbelievable, too, by the way.
Well, you know, at the last minute, I had this great speech lined up, and at the last minute, they said, "Well, you can't say Vince, you can't say this, you can't say that." And so I just said, well, heck with it, I'm going to let it live. So it turned out good.
That's dynamite. One question I want to talk to you specifically, because obviously you came up in an era where social media was almost non-existent. I mean, you were managing the Hart Foundation, who were just hated at the time. Honky Tonk Man, who was the heel. Now in 2013, where kind of more fans are kind of in the know, what do you see are the biggest differences between fans who kind of know more about the business than they did back in the 80s or the early 90s?
Well, you know, kind of everybody's got a little peek behind the curtain now, but it really hadn't hurt, because think about this. Wrestlemania sold out, over 80-something thousand people. Raw for Monday night coming up sold out. You've got the Hall of Fame sold out, so I guess that little sneak peek everybody had really hadn't hurt us at all. So maybe we should have done it a long time ago. It would have been a lot easier on us. I wouldn't have had to carry peanut butter around with me, because when people hit you in the head with gum, that's how you got it out of your hair, was peanut butter. Every good manager carries peanut butter.
That's dynamite. Is that some of the worst stuff that's happened to you as a manager?
Well, broke jaw, you know, a lot of beer thrown on us, but, you know, that was okay, too. I didn't drink, but that was the closest I came to it. But you know, it was kind of rough back in the day. You know, we had a few little broken bones here and there. You know, broke hand and broke jaw. A lot of stitches here and there. But that was all part of trying to make a living. Right.
Man, I'm sure now with like you said, fans kind of getting a peek behind the curtain, I'm sure that stuff happens a lot less often, right?
You know, you really don't hear about it anymore. It's almost like the good guys and the bad guys are both just as popular. You know, as soon as they get through doing a match, they come out. Everybody wants their autograph. So it's just a little different now than it was. But it's a good time now. You know, the crowds are great. The ratings are great, and WWE is still the biggest the company in the world.
Absolutely. Man, well, Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South, like I said, just growing up, having someone to look up to that has the gift of gab like you, it's an honor and a pleasure meeting you, and I appreciate your time.
Well, like I said before, thank God I'm still alive. Don't send me no flowers. I ain't dead yet, baby. I love you guys. Thank you.
Jimmy Hart, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so